Days of Our Lives. A Halloween joke turns tragic, and not everyone is happy for Johnny and Chanel's big day. This week's Hallween takes place in Salem, but it is tainted by a possible tragedy that the town's residents sort of predicts. Additionally, as hinted at in the most recent Days of Our Lives preview, not everyone is overjoyed by this development, even though it is finally Tesoro's adoption day. When Johnny and Chanel adopt tiny Tesoro, it's a joyful day, but is everyone on board? As AR0N explains to Tate, he gave off his rights to the child even though he was unaware that it was his. Is Aaron changing his mind? Maybe not, as Johnny discloses the unique name they have given Tesoro, Trey, and Belle declares that Tesoro's new parents are Chanel and Johnny. It refers to John III. Susan, meantime, tells Stephanie that a terrible event is about to happen. Is she alerting us to a horrible situation involving Alex and Jeremy? According to how the promo plays out, it doesn't seem like that. Thomas and Rachel are still working together to punish Kat and launch a pumpkin cannon. The flying pumpkin clobbers Alex, but Chad manages to move Kat out of the line of fire. Knowing that his son was aiming at Kat, Chad chastises him. At that point, everything goes haywire as Thomas yells that his father only loves Kat, flees, and Chad and Jennifer are appalled when a car screams to a stop. Dr. Rolf returns, Chad's worst nightmare and Rachel's penalty. According to spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks, November 3rd to 14th of Days of Our Lives, Rachel Black will receive some punishment, and Dr. Wilhelm Rolf will make a comeback. Let's discuss all the highs and lows that lie ahead in Salem as Chad DiMera faces his biggest nightmare as a father. Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez will have a particularly difficult time saying goodbye to baby Tesoro's foster family during the week of November 3rd to 7th. After learning that they have been chosen as Tesoro's adoptive parents, Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera will rename him Trey. John Black would be pleased to learn that it will be short for John III. Alex Kyriakis will save Kat Green from a knife attack, and then get hit by the pumpkin that was intended for Kat. When her partner regains consciousness, he will be all right, but Stephanie Johnson will worry about him. Stephanie and Alex will find something interesting later. As they look into it, Alex and Stephanie might find themselves at the center of a brand new mystery. Brady will ground Rachel if he discovers that she coerced Thomas DiMera into throwing that pumpkin at Kat. The tension between the father and son is about to worsen since, according to Days spoilers, Chad will also lecture Thomas. Thomas will land in front of a speeding car after losing his temper and fleeing. As Chad and Jennifer Horton Devereaux look on in terror, it appears that Thomas will be struck. Tate Black and Holly Jonas will come to a consensus elsewhere. Since Holly is so focused on doing everything properly while on probation, that might entail taking a little romantic respite. Regarding Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton Kyriakis, their encounter will demonstrate how shattered their love is. Since Sarah filed for divorce and believes she is done with Xander forever, things will be quite cold between them. Regarding Gwen von Luskner, she will be taking on a new task. Even if she complains about it, Gwen will fulfill her share of the new orders that E.J. DiMera will supply. E.J. will introduce himself now that he has added Mark Green to his research team. As they are ready to start working, Mark will encounter Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, who will be returning to town, according to the spoilers for Days. Thomas will most likely be admitted to the hospital during the week of November 10th to 14th as a result of the aforementioned vehicle mishap. As he awaits his son's medical updates, Chad should be inconsolable. A gala and the grand inauguration of the free clinic are part of Days' upcoming anniversary celebration, but there will also be shady activities taking place in the lab behind the scenes. When Mark learns about the tests taking place behind closed doors, he might understand he's in over his head because Stefano DiMera is getting some sort of resurrection plot. At some point, Tony DiMera will make a comeback, but will he truly be Andre DiMera? Andre may have taken Tony in order to seize control of his life, since there must be a reason why he disappeared from his cruise for a bit. In any event, spoilers for Days of Our Lives indicate that the upcoming 2 weeks will be jam-packed with action. Horrible mishap, horrible difficulty, amazing comeback, and lovely start. According to 2-week spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Salem will experience a lot of excitement, happy moments, romance, and soap opera turmoil over the coming 2 weeks. There will also be some major surprises for viewers. As the chaos and danger persist, Halloween in Horton Square will go on. These are the November 3rd to 14th DOL spoilers. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives for the week of November 3rd to 7th. Tesoro is ultimately adopted by Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera. Others are not as thrilled as the happy pair. Leo Stark, Javi Hernandez, and the rest of the Hernandez family say farewell to their little T in a bittersweet way, as you could expect. In addition, Tesoro gets a new name and Johnny and Chanel begin a new chapter. They'll refer to him as Trey. It stands for John III, which would undoubtedly make John Black happy. During the Salem Halloween celebrations, Kat Green is shielded by Alex Kirikais from a startling knife attack. Unfortunately, Thomas DiMera and Rachel Black will be the ones nailing Alex with a pumpkin. Rachel is going to get into a lot of trouble since, as we all know, she came up with the idea to hit Kat with the pumpkin. Thomas lashes out and flees after witnessing Chad DiMera talking with Kat, only to be struck by a speeding vehicle. Thomas will be well in the end. Chad, however, will be appalled and probably hold himself responsible for the mishap. Sarah Horton Kyriakis and Xander Kyriakis converse icily in the meantime. Alex and Stephanie Johnson uncover something unexpected. We must question whether they will discover the true identity of the perpetrator of the knife assault. The Halloween thriller will appear to be the work of Jeremy Horton, but appearances can be misleading. Gwen Rizek is given a new assignment by E.J. DiMera. She will either have to divert Leo's attention or the lab will be a part of her objective. Week of November 10th to 14th. Days of Our Lives spoilers. Chad will naturally be concerned about his small boy, while Thomas is in the hospital recuperating this week. He survives the accident once more. Presumably to work on a project, Dr. Wilhelm Rolf returns. We believe Stefano DiMera will be brought back to life by Dr. Rolf. We must speculate as to who will assume Stefano's awareness this time. In the meantime, EJ brought on Mark Green to assist with this endeavor. Maybe Mark will see how ridiculous the DiMeras are. Will he let Kat know about any updates? She is, after all, researching EJ while working undercover for the ISA. When Tony DiMera returns, there are suspicions that he is actually his evil twin, Andre DiMera. In any case, it appears that we will learn at least some of the truth about EJ's dubious covert laboratory experiments. A sumptuous event will be held to commemorate DOOL's 60th anniversary, as the hospital launches its new Tom Horton Free Clinic. A number of familiar celebrities will be present at the hospital gala. Many Salem residents are unaware that Dr. Rolf is using the lab to perform his magic and resurrect Stefano in a different form. Interestingly, a white-coated, unidentified individual was seen standing next to a cryogenic chamber in the DOOL's 60th anniversary teaser. That can only indicate that a Stefano comeback is being planned by the serial opera. For the next few weeks, Salem citizens will be occupied. You don't want to miss any of the action at all. Jeremy is the top suspect after Stephanie's absence causes panic. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Stephanie Johnson's disappearance can make people anxious. Will Jeremy Horton emerge as the primary suspect in the possible disappearance of his tortured ex-lover? Fans of Days are aware of how successful Stephanie's first book was, so she is now prepared to promote a new one. As part of that strategy, Stephanie is set to reveal her identity as Anastasia Sands, and the fact that she is the author of One Stormy Night and the brand new mystery book, Right Out. The direction of Stephanie's DOOL plot may be hinted at in the idea of her second book. According to Stephanie, there is some foreshadowing because it is about a mystery novelist who vanishes on Halloween. Is Stephanie also going to vanish on Halloween? There will be a lot of conjecture if Stephanie disappears after Anastasia Sansa's unmasking. Some may initially think it's a publicity stunt to accompany the book. Alex Kyriakis might be wiser and understand that Stephanie wouldn't do this without first informing him. The same is true for Steve and Kayla Johnson, who will know that their daughter won't make them feel afraid needlessly. According to today's spoilers, Stephanie might actually be gone, and Jeremy will undoubtedly become the main suspect for the Salem Police Department. Jada Hunter will be closely monitoring Jeremy now that she is aware of his violent past. Jada might question Jeremy and question whether he is the cause of Stephanie's disappearance. If that is the case, Jeremy will undoubtedly argue that he is innocent and he might be speaking the truth. Nevertheless, after his failed date with Jada, Jeremy had a secret tantrum and threw a pumpkin to the ground. According to teasers for days, Jeremy still has a dark side that makes him untrustworthy beyond everything else. Jeremy might be planning a kidnapping and end up holding Stephanie hostage. However, it's also feasible that Jeremy will be falsely charged and that there are additional facets to this mystery. In any case, spoilers for Days of Our Lives indicate that Stephanie might vanish and raise some red flags. Is Stefano taking Adam back to get Marlena? Days of Our Lives spoilers enjoy a good scary story around Halloween, but if we're correct, the possible plot point may not sit well with many. Supporters weren't afraid to express how much they detested the last possession plot, particularly when Johnny DiMera and his twin sister Allie Horton were possessed. We adored it. This one appears to be a little different, and we believe Stefano DiMera will take possession of Adam. We were aware of it when Aaron Green's face was illuminated by his flashlight. Adam appeared malevolent at the time. Leo Stark is aware of how obnoxious he is already, so why not make a big effort? The Days of Our Lives spoilers were amused by Adam's annoying behavior, and it was ideal to take over the tour. However, the process began because it was headed to the DiMera property. Adam's casual remarks regarding Marlena Evans' alleged possession come first. Adam left to see the mausoleum by himself after the light went out, and they heard a moan. When he returned, he exclaimed, "There's something there," with Aaron's light shining in his face. In all seriousness, it explains a couple things, and is almost flawless foreshadowing, such as the reason behind Marlena's frequent fainting and dreaming. Stefano is on his way to get her. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives. Marlena used John as a shield. John Black hasn't been Marlena's guardian since his untimely death. We believe that he was more than just a physical guardian. Her soulmate, John, kept Stefano at bay with his love, faith, and spirit. However, now that he is gone and Marlena is unrestricted, Stefano might have managed to get in the way of their relationship and is no longer being held back. Indeed, the timing couldn't be more ideal. For several reasons, it might be fascinating if Stefano takes possession of Adam. Supporters disliked Stefano continuing to exist in Steve Johnson's brain as a microchip. Marlena's second possession was disliked by many. Why not combine the two? Then, if they continue in this direction, there are many options. They've talked about Stefano enough, after all, that there must be more to come. Naturally, the new authors may be continuing Ron Carlovati's Halloween custom of writing a two-parter. Kayla Brady gave birth to a baby Stefano a few years ago, but it was all in good humor during a standalone episode. However, we suspect it's something more this time. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below regarding a potential new possession plot. For the most recent information, spoilers, and conjecture, Return to Days of Our Lives spoilers. Was Theo inadvertently shaped into the next Stefano by Abe? Fans of Days of Our Lives have long hoped for Stefano Di Mera, a real big villain, to make a comeback. They had a fantastic shot with Stefan Di Mera, but they can never fill Stefano's shoes. He is a cross between Di Mera and Alamein, and if the writers hadn't ruined his potential, he would have been an incredible major bad. Although they have also humanized E.J. Di Mera, it appears that the new government went to considerable lengths with Theo Carver. Although the new Theo is resentful, a professional victim, and eager to use his autism as a weapon to intimidate people into submission, the old Theo was at least likable. Although amiable, Theo briefly displayed his inner Di Mera, which Abe Carver fostered. How? There is one instance that comes to mind, and we never forgive Theo or Abe for it. Sierra Brady was not as essential as Theo's feelings. Sierra Brady's amnesia is vividly remembered in Days of Our Lives spoilers. Ben Weston was her spouse. She attempted to escape after being abducted and detained, but the ensuing explosion caused her to suffer from temporary amnesia. She essentially remembered everything except for the fact that she was married to Ben and loved him. Since she only knew him as the necktie killer, she was terrified of him. It was a fantastic opportunity for everyone to get together and support her, and it makes sense. Rather, Theo became a predator and surrounded her to protect her by claiming her as his own. Ben was the only one who cared when they became a relationship. Actually, Abe continued to overlook Theo by telling him that what counts is that he is happy. Therefore, it was entirely acceptable for Theo to use a married woman who was experiencing amnesia. Ben had to pay good when she regained her mind and went back to him. After skating, Theo departed for South Africa. In addition to getting off easy, it reminds me of Stefan raping Abigail Devereaux. Fortunately, Theo didn't go that far. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives. Replacing him. Theo has changed after his return in that he is now eager to use his autism as a weapon to intimidate people into agreeing with him and shutting up. Despite having PTSD, he has attempted to discredit J.J. Devereaux and destroy his career by playing the victim. He has generally returned much colder and more calculating, though therapy can at least help with that. It should be entertaining to watch him take over Di Mera and become the big bad the show has been without for years. After all, his campaign for that job is off to a great start. Will Theo follow in Stefano's footsteps? Tesoro's dad is missing, and Tony is missing. After a week of highs and lows for Tesoro's loved ones, the eagerly anticipated adoption day is hinted at in Days of Our Lives spoilers for November 3rd to 7th, 2025. Philip attempted to reconcile with Sarah. Brady later consoled a distressed Sarah. Maggie told Xander that she and Philip would now be running Titan. Divorce papers were later served to Xander. Gwen pretended that they were friends again after EJ told her to keep Leo away from him, and the clinic. EJ later learned that Tony was not there. Jennifer expressed regret to Chad for her treatment of him. JJ informed Theo that although he tried to step down, Theo was still deceived. Later, JJ perplexed Jennifer about what had transpired with Theo, while EJ informed him about Tony's abduction. Later, EJ found out that Tony was okay. Xander told Marlena what had transpired. To vent her resentment on Xander, Brady took Sarah to a rage chamber. The book club is reopening with a bang. JJ expressed his desire to remain in the Force to Jada. When Abe discovered that Theo had told Paulina about the event involving JJ rather than him, he felt deceived. Abe later met Liam, his literacy mentee, at the store. Jada and Jeremy ended up going on a blind date. Aaron discovered that he and Sophia are compatible. He later encountered Leo, who discovered he was Tesoro's father, while hosting Salem's ghost tour. Adam interrupted Aaron's tour. When he arrived, and proceeded to the DiMera home. Chanel expressed her desire to back Tesoro to Johnny. At last, Stephanie revealed to Alex what Jeremy had done to her. Jada canceled their date after Jeremy revealed that he was Stephanie's ex. EJ urged Kat to persuade Aaron to relinquish his parental rights after she revealed that Aaron was the baby's father. Thomas was persuaded to attend the pumpkin catapult event by Chad. However, Rachel recommended throwing a pumpkin at Kat after she subsequently saw Chad with Kat and informed Thomas. At last, Stephanie identified herself as Anastasia Sands. Susan later revealed to Stephanie that she believes the murder mystery in her book will come to pass. Leo presented Kat with Tesoro, her nephew. Leo was later told that a family had been located for adoption. Ultimately, the carving knife vanished, and it was spotted in the hands of an unidentified individual. Was there a covert Tony/Andre switch by Days? This week's brief Tony mystery on Days of Our Lives involved the character going missing despite not being on screen. The possibility that Tony is not Tony has simply fueled the flames. What's going on with Tony every day? Tony hasn't seemed like himself since he got back to Salem. Tony returned with a vengeance, tearing DiMera away from Philip and Xander. Given that Chad, EJ, and Kristen were doing nothing to regain their father's business, that shouldn't come as a surprise in and of itself. A few of Tony's movements were more Andre-like than his own. One was plotting with Gabby to obtain information on Philip and Xander, but he threw her away in favor of Theo. Another is choosing to name Theo CEO rather than remaining in Salem and managing the business. Although Theo is a strange option, we also know that aside from Tony, he is currently the only suitable DiMera family member. He is a DiMera, though, and everyone at some point channels their inner Stefano, even if those moves aren't Tony-like. Red flags weren't raised by any of these factors alone, but Tony's temporary disappearance is a different matter. Given Tony's recent actions, there's a reason Days featured those sequences without him ever being on screen. There are hints that a Tony transition is taking place very quietly off-screen. Maybe Andre or someone else was pushing the strings, but we believe Tony has always been Tony. Given that Tony went missing for a moment, Andre might have replaced him. Given how much Stefano discussion has been going on lately, the timing would be ideal. Maybe Andre had been using Tony to help him figure out how to restore Stefano's essence all along. It's also no accident that Marlena has begun having dreams about the Queen of the Night. To briefly summarize, it appears like Days has established the framework for a mystery involving Tony that may also involve Andre's reappearance. We are aware that Andre passed away in 2018. However, this is Salem, where individuals frequently resurrect from the dead. What are your thoughts? Is Tony Andre, or is he truly Tony? Please share your thoughts in the space provided for comments below. Baby joy, remorse, retaliation, and misfortune. This week on Days of Our Lives, there is sorrow, remorse, payback, and baby delight. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, a baby eventually finds his home. His father reconsiders giving up his rights to him. And Psychic Susan forewarns another Salem woman of imminent disaster. In addition, a scheme to reimburse Kat fails, putting a small child in risk. This is a preview of your Days video for the week of November 3rd to 7th, 2025. A father's predicament. Aaron has been deeply affected by learning that he is the father of Sophia's child. Aaron confides in Tate, his longtime best friend. I didn't even know that the kid was mine. Now, I literally just signed away all my rights. Is Aaron reconsidering his choice now? A residence for Tesoro. That infant, meanwhile, has at last found his everlasting home. Belle notifies Johnny and Chanel, her clients, that their adoption has been formally confirmed. Belle declares, "You two are now the parents of baby Tesoro." The new parents are thrilled to have a family at last. The departure of the youngster who has been in their care for months, however, saddens Leo, Javi, Ari, and Gabby. Johnny and Chanel give their son a new name right away. "You are now Trey," declares Johnny. The tiny boy's name honors the late John Black. Trey, meaning the third, as in John the Third. A tragedy is coming. In the square, Susan locates Stephanie and issues a terrible warning. Susan screams, "There you are," and rushes to meet her. What will take place? A worried Stephanie asks. Susan says, "Something tragic, bracing her for the worst, making a payback plot." Rachel is still influencing Thomas, and not in a positive way. Referring to Kat, Rachel informs Thomas, someone needs to make her pay for what she did. Thus, the two devise a strategy to defeat her, but Chad rushes to Kat's aid. "Be careful!" A big pumpkin flies toward Kat, and Chad yells, pushing her out of the way of danger. A child in danger. When Chad notices Thomas close by, he immediately connects the dots. "I take it you were going for Kat," Chad queries his son. Thomas appears unconcerned. He appears more irate than ever. In fact, he yells out at his father, "She is all you care about." Just as Thomas flees, Chad starts to clarify, "That's not what." Abruptly, the sound of tires screaming is heard. As Chad and Jennifer watch in fear, Jennifer screams. Chad exclaims. Thomas, terrified for his only son's life,